Most people believe carbs are the enemy, that the only way to burn fat is by cutting them out or fasting for days, but that belief is dead wrong. In fact, when you understand how to use carbs correctly, they can become one of the most powerful tools for accelerating fat loss, sometimes working faster than even 48 hours of fasting. The truth is, it's not the carbs that make you gain fat. It's how and when you eat them. When carbs are mistimed dumped into a sluggish, insulin-resistant system, they get stored as fat. But when they're used strategically, they become fuel for performance, recovery, and metabolic acceleration. The problem isn't the carb itself, it's the timing and the context. Your body isn't a static machine, it's a dynamic system that shifts between states of fat burning and storage depending on hormone signaling, especially insulin. Most people stay stuck in the storage mode all day because they snack, eat late, and flood their system with carbs when their muscles aren't ready to use them. But if you flip the script and align your carb intake with your body's natural metabolic rhythm, you can actually enhance insulin sensitivity and force your body to use carbs as energy instead of fat storage. This is what I call the Smart Carb Habit a simple, science-driven shift that teaches your metabolism to work with carbs instead of against them. When you time your carb intake around the moments your body is most metabolically active after training, during high-intensity days, or in sync with circadian rhythms, you unlock a state of consistent energy, stable blood sugar, and accelerated fat oxidation. The result, you burn more fat, sustain lean muscle, balance your hormones, and maintain energy that doesn't crash midday. You don't have to starve yourself or suffer through endless fasting windows. You just have to learn how to use carbs intelligently, the same way your body was designed to. Most people who hit a fat loss plateau think the solution is to go even lower on carbs. They tighten the diet, strip away every gram of starch, and wear their zero-carb streak like a badge of honor. But what they don't realize is that the same thing they think is helping them burn fat is often what's shutting their metabolism down. Going zero. Carb for too long doesn't just starve fat, it starves your hormones, your thyroid, and eventually your energy. When you pull all carbs out for weeks or months, the body starts to perceive it as a stress signal. Cortisol, your main stress hormone, rises to keep blood sugar stable. That's fine for short bursts, but when cortisol stays elevated, it starts to break down muscle tissue for glucose, slow thyroid conversion, and impair sleep. Your metabolism starts grinding down, and instead of burning more fat, your body starts fighting to hold on to it. This is why many people on strict low-carb or carnivore plans see rapid initial weight loss, then hit a wall where fat loss stalls and energy crashes. The thyroid, one of the body's primary metabolic regulators, depends on adequate glucose and insulin signals to function optimally. When carbs are chronically too low, the conversion of T4 to T3, the active thyroid hormone, slows down. That means your metabolic rate drops, your body temperature can decrease, and your fat-burning machinery loses momentum. On top of that, leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you have enough energy, also declines, making your appetite rise and your cravings stronger. This hormonal cascade is why many people who swear off carbs end up rebounding hard. But here's where the misconception gets flipped. The right carbs used at the right time can actually bring the metabolism back online and accelerate fat loss again. When you strategically reintroduce carbs around training sessions, in the evening to support sleep, or in controlled refeeds, insulin spikes temporarily, cortisol drops, and thyroid output increases. Your body feels safe again. It stops clinging to fat because the starvation signal is gone. This doesn't mean binging on pasta or sugar. It means using nutrient-dense glucose, stable carbs like sweet potatoes, fruit, squash, or even white rice in specific metabolic windows where your muscles are primed to absorb them. Post-workout, for example, your glycogen stores are depleted, insulin sensitivity is high, and every gram of carbohydrate you eat is more likely to be used for repair and energy rather than stored as fat. That's smart timing. It also means recognizing that carbs play a critical role in hormone communication. Insulin, in proper doses, isn't your enemy, it's a signaling molecule that tells the body nutrients are available, allowing testosterone, thyroid, and growth hormone to function in balance. Without occasional insulin spikes, those systems start running on fumes. The result is fatigue, poor recovery, irritability, and that frustrating stuck feeling where no amount of fasting seems to move the scale anymore. Strategic carb intake also has a powerful effect on sleep and recovery. When you eat a small amount of carbs in the evening, especially after training or long fasting periods, serotonin and melatonin production increase, helping you sleep deeper. Better sleep means lower cortisol, and lower cortisol means more efficient fat burning the next day. Most people don't realize that fixing sleep through smart carb timing can do more for fat loss than cutting another 100 calories. When you look at athletes, soldiers, and people who stay lean year-round, they're not avoiding carbs, they're mastering them. They use carbs like a lever to regulate energy, hormones, and recovery. The goal isn't to eliminate carbs, it's to earn them and time them. Your body thrives on that rhythm periods of low carb fat burning balanced with intentional carb refeeding that resets metabolism and keeps the engine running hot. The truth is, sustainable fat loss isn't about punishment or starvation. It's about understanding how your physiology responds to food signals. Going zero carb might look like control, but in the long run, it often backfires, slowing down the very system you're trying to optimize. Smart carb timing, on the other hand, gives you the flexibility to burn fat efficiently, keep hormones stable, and maintain a metabolism that actually wants to work with you, not against you. When people think about carbs, they usually think in black and white. Either you eat them and get fat, or you cut them and get lean, but the truth lies in the timing. The human body isn't a machine that processes food the same way 24 hours a day. It's a rhythm-based system that responds to signals, movement, light, hormones, and food timing. When you understand this rhythm, you can use carbs strategically to teach your metabolism to be flexible, switching effortlessly between burning carbs and burning fat. That's metabolic flexibility, and it's the real key to long-term fat loss. When you eat carbs at the wrong time, when you're sedentary, stressed, or already full of glycogen, insulin spikes in a context where it can't do much good. The glucose isn't needed, so it gets stored as fat, but when carbs are consumed at the right time after a workout, during recovery, or in the evening after a day of fasting or low carb eating, the story changes completely. Your muscles become insulin-sensitive sponges, ready to soak up glucose and store it as glycogen, not fat. The insulin response becomes anabolic, not lipogenic. It builds rather than stores. This is the foundation of glycogen cycling a natural rise and fall of stored carbohydrate energy in your muscles and liver. When you train, you drain glycogen. When you eat carbs afterward, you refill it. That's not just recovery, that's teaching your body to adapt. By cycling between depletion and refilling, you're signaling your metabolism to stay flexible. It learns to efficiently burn fat during low-carb phases and switch to glucose when performance demands it. People who master this rhythm can go from fasting to training to refeeding without energy crashes or brain fog because their metabolism is conditioned to handle both fuels. Insulin sensitivity is the hidden weapon here. When your muscles are sensitive to insulin, they can clear glucose from the blood quickly and efficiently. That means lower baseline insulin, less fat storage, and more hormonal balance. The best way to keep insulin sensitivity high is to earn your carbs. When you train hard, especially resistance or high intensity work, you temporarily increase GLUT4 transporter activity in muscle tissue. These little molecular doors open wide, waiting for glucose. If you feed your body carbs in that window, insulin has to do less work. and the glucose goes straight to where it's needed most: muscle glycogen restoration. Contrast that with eating carbs while sitting at a desk all day. GLUT4 activity is low, cortisol may be high, and insulin has to rise more aggressively to clear glucose. That extra insulin doesn't just push carbs into cells, it pushes your body into fat storage mode. Timing, not total intake, makes the difference between progress and stagnation. Metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between fat and carbohydrate as fuel, is what separates lean, hyper, forming bodies from the ones that constantly struggle. If your body can't burn fat without carbs, or can't handle carbs without storing fat, you're metabolically rigid. Smart carb timing fixes that by creating a controlled alternation between depletion and refeeding. During your low carb or fasting periods, fat oxidation ramps up. During your refeed or carb window, insulin spikes strategically, refilling glycogen and resetting thyroid and leptin. It's like giving your metabolism a workout, teaching it to handle both sides of the energy spectrum. Another benefit of strategic carb timing is reduced cortisol. Prolonged low carb or fasted states elevate cortisol to maintain blood glucose. That's fine short term, but if you never bring carbs back in, cortisol stays high, breaking down muscle and slowing recovery. A well-timed carb intake after training or in the evening blunts cortisol, restores serotonin, and helps you recover faster. That's why many people sleep better and feel calmer when they strategically add carbs back in after intense physical or mental stress. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about restriction, it's about control. You're not banning carbs, you're commanding them. You eat them when your body is primed to use them, not store them. You let your physiology dictate your nutrition, not fear or diet dogma. Over time, your body becomes more efficient, your energy stabilizes, your hunger normalizes, and your fat loss accelerates, not because you're eating less, but because your metabolism has finally learned to run like it's supposed to. That's the science behind smart carb timing, syncing food with physiology. It's not just about what you eat, but when you eat it. Get that right, and you unlock the same metabolic advantage that elite performers, athletes, and naturally lean individuals have used for years: the power to burn fat and fuel performance with precision. When most people think about carbs, they lump everything into one category: bread, fruit, candy, rice. It's all just carbs. But that's where the problem starts. Not all carbs behave the same way in your body. Some drive inflammation, spike insulin, and block fat burning. Others restore metabolic balance, feed your gut, stabilize blood sugar, and actually make fat loss easier. The difference comes down to *** quality and structure ***, how those carbs digest, how quickly they enter the bloodstream, and what kind of hormonal message they send once they do. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that all carbohydrates automatically make you fat. That's not true. What matters is how fast a carb turns into glucose and how much insulin it demands to manage that glucose. Processed carbs, the kind stripped of fiber, micronutrients, and natural resistance, hit the bloodstream like rocket fuel. Think white bread, sugary cereals, pastries, fruit juices, and even most healthy snack bars. These foods flood your system with glucose, spike insulin hard, and turn off fat oxidation. For the next several hours, your body is locked in storage mode, not burning mode. Now, contrast that with ** slowed, digesting nutrient-dense carbs ** like sweet potatoes, squash, quinoa, oats, and berries. These foods release glucose gradually. The fiber and natural starch structure slow down digestion, preventing insulin from spiking too high. That means your body can burn fat and carbohydrates simultaneously, what's known as ** metabolic coexistence. ** your energy stays steady, your cravings stay low, and your metabolism stays active instead of reactive. But the real game changer lies in resistant starch a form of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and feeds the gut microbiome instead. Foods like green bananas, cooked and cooled potatoes, lentils, and rice that's been chilled overnight all contain resistant starch. This type of carb doesn't act like normal glucose, it acts more like fiber. It passes into the large intestine where it ferments and produces short-chain fatty acids compounds like butyrate that improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. Over time, this process actually trains your metabolism to handle glucose more efficiently. The result is lower fasting insulin levels and faster fat mobilization even on higher carb days. Fiber plays a similar role. Soluble fiber found in foods like chia seeds, oats, apples, and vegetables forms a gel in the gut that slows digestion and glucose absorption, that keeps blood sugar flat and stable, which is one of the most underrated secrets to sustainable fat loss. Every spike in blood sugar is followed by a crash, and every crash is followed by hunger, cravings, and cortisol release. By simply focusing on high fiber, low glycemic carb sources, you smooth out those swings and keep your fat burning hormones, especially glucagon and growth hormone, active for longer. Another key point, carbs shouldn't come naked. When you eat carbs by themselves, especially fast ones, you get a rapid glucose surge, but when you pair carbs with protein, fat, or even vinegar, you slow down that absorption rate dramatically. Something as simple as adding olive oil to potatoes or eating fruit with a meal instead of alone can change your entire metabolic response. These small pairings reduce post-meal insulin spikes and make your carb intake work with your fat burning rhythm, not against it. Whole food carbs also deliver micronutrients that fuel the metabolic machinery directly. Magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins, all abundant in foods like potatoes, fruits, and whole grains, play crucial roles in insulin signaling, ATP production, and thyroid function. Cutting out carbs too harshly for too long can strip your body of these nutrients and stall fat loss, even if you're eating fewer calories. The right carbs don't just provide energy, they support the systems that make energy usable. The key is to stop thinking of carbs as the enemy and start viewing them as tools. The right carbs at the right time from the right sources can reset a broken metabolism and make fat loss sustainable. Think of them as metabolic switches, low GI high, fiber whole. Food carbs keep the switch on for fat burning while processed. High GI carbs flip it off and trap you in storage mode. If you start building your meals around slow, resistant, fiber-rich carbs, the kind your body has to work for, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. Energy steadiness replaces cravings, and fat loss starts happening without hunger. That's the hidden advantage of smart carb selection. You're not fighting your biology anymore. You're feeding it exactly what it needs to burn fat efficiently, control glucose naturally, and sustain performance without metabolic burnout. The way most people eat carbs is completely disconnected from how the human body is designed to handle them. They grab a bowl of rice, a bagel, a smoothie, all carb, no anchor. What happens next is predictable. Insulin spikes, blood sugar soars, energy feels great for about 30 minutes, then crashes. Hunger hits again, cravings rise, and fat storage begins. The secret isn't to avoid carbs altogether, it's to control their hormonal impact by pairing them strategically with protein. When you balance the right carb to protein ratio, every meal becomes a steady source of energy, not a roller coaster of hunger and fatigue. Protein changes the entire metabolic response to carbohydrates. When protein enters the gut, it slows gastric emptying, meaning glucose from carbs enters the bloodstream more gradually. This prevents the sharp insulin surge that typically follows a carb-heavy meal. But the benefits don't stop there. Protein stimulates the release of glucagon insulin's natural counterpart. While insulin promotes nutrient storage, glucagon promotes nutrient release, especially fat from adipose tissue. Together, they create a metabolic tug-of war that keeps your body in balance, allowing for glucose control without halting fat burning. When your meals contain the right mix of protein and carbs, usually around *1 ratio for active individuals, or slightly more protein for those cutting fat, blood sugar remains stable for hours. You don't experience those mid-morning slumps or the post-lunch fog that so many people accept as normal. Instead, energy stays even, the brain stays sharp, and appetite stays under control. The reason is simple. Amino acids from protein and glucose from carbs are being metabolized together, keeping insulin responses proportional to need rather than exaggerated. Protein is also the master of satiety. It activates hormones like peptide Y and GLP-1, which tell your brain you're full. When you eat carbs alone, especially refined ones, you get a short dopamine hit, pleasure without satisfaction. That's why carb cravings spiral. The body wants more because it never got what it needed. Add protein and that entire loop changes. You get physical satisfaction, not just chemical stimulation. Hunger goes down, cravings fade, and your body naturally self-regulates calorie intake without willpower. Here's the part most people overlook. Protein and carbs aren't just fuel, they're signals. Together, they send messages to your body about what's happening in the environment. When you eat balanced meals with a stable carb-to-protein ratio, your body perceives abundance and safety. Cortisol drops, thyroid output improves, and testosterone and growth hormone can rise naturally. But when carbs spike without protein to buffer them, the signal flips, your body perceives volatility. Cortisol climbs to manage the glucose surge, fat burning halts, and your mood takes a dive. Timing also plays a huge role. The best times for a strong carb-to-protein ratio are around training sessions and during recovery windows. Before a workout, a small amount of carbs with lean protein increases glycogen availability and primes your muscles for performance. After a workout, pairing carbs with protein enhances muscle repair and refills glycogen stores efficiently. That combination not only accelerates recovery but also increases insulin sensitivity, meaning your next meal will be processed more effectively, with less insulin required to maintain balance. Over time, this lowers baseline insulin levels, which translates to easier fat loss. For people who don't train intensely every day, the principle still holds true. Just scale the carbs down relative to your activity. A rest day breakfast might be eggs with sauteed vegetables and a small portion of fruit. A training day dinner might be grilled salmon with rice or potatoes. Both meals deliver protein and carbs in balance, but the portioning respects your body's energy needs. This is how you build a rhythm where insulin, cortisol, and appetite hormones stay aligned instead of constantly battling each other. Even the thermic effect of protein adds a hidden advantage. Digesting protein burns more calories than digesting carbs or fat. So every time you include protein in your carb meal, you're increasing the energy cost of digestion, a small but meaningful metabolic edge that compounds over time. The result of all this is simple but powerful. You stop eating like a dieter and start eating like a human built for performance. Balanced macronutrient meals don't trigger cravings or crashes. They feed lean muscle, stabilize energy, and keep the fat burning switch turned on all day long. You're no longer chasing energy, you're controlling it. That's what happens when you stop fearing carbs and start mastering the ratio. You build meals that work with your physiology instead of against it, giving your metabolism the signal it's been waiting for: steady fuel, stable hormones, and permission to burn fat freely. Every diet hits a wall eventually. At first, you drop water, then fat, then progress slows down no matter how clean you eat or how long you fast. It's not because your body stopped working, it's because it adapted. Your metabolism is designed for survival, not endless restriction. The longer you stay in a calorie or carb deficit, the more your body pulls back, lowering thyroid output, reducing leptin, and elevating cortisol to conserve energy. This is why strict low-carb diets often deliver fast results at first and then stall completely. The fix isn't going lower, it's to cycle smarter. That's where the **3 phase carb strategy * comes in: reset, refeed, and reignite. The first phase reset * is where you re-establish fat burning dominance. You start by reducing carbs to a strategic low level for several days, usually between 2 to 4 days depending on your activity level. This isn't about deprivation, it's about teaching your body to use fat efficiently again. During this phase, insulin stays low and your body ramps up enzymes that mobilize and oxidize fat. Glycogen stores deplete slightly, and your metabolism switches to a more flexible state, burning fat for fuel instead of constantly relying on glucose. Think of it as a metabolic recalibration. Energy might feel lower for a day or two, but as fat oxidation increases, your endurance and focus come back stronger than before. The next phase, refeed **, is where the magic happens. This is where you deliberately reintroduce clean, whole food carbs to restore metabolic balance. A refeed day isn't a cheat day, it's a controlled metabolic reset. When you bring carbs back after several days of depletion, your muscles act like dry sponges, soaking up glycogen. Insulin sensitivity peaks, leptin rises, cortisol drops, and thyroid output rebounds. This single day of structured carb reintroduction signals to your body that it's not starving, it's safe. The result, your metabolism reignites instead of slowing down. On a refeed day, you focus on ** slowed, digesting nutrient-dense carbs * like sweet potatoes, rice, oats, or fruit, not junk. Pair them with lean protein to stabilize glucose and prevent insulin spikes. Keep fats moderate to low to avoid calorie spillover. The goal is not to binge, but to refuel with precision. Done correctly, you'll wake up the next day fuller, more energetic, and metabolically sharper. You've just taught your body to adapt in your favor, not against you. The final phase, **, reignite **, is what makes the cycle sustainable. This is where you return to your regular smart carb rhythm: moderate carbs around training, lower carbs on rest days, and steady protein and micronutrients across the board. You've restored metabolic flexibility, the ability to shift effortlessly between fat and glucose depending on your energy demand. That flexibility is what keeps you from hitting plateaus. You're no longer trapped in one fuel mode. Instead, you're cycling intelligently between states of controlled depletion and targeted repletion. Over time, repeating these 3 phases: reset, refeed, reignite builds a rhythm that keeps fat loss steady without sacrificing energy or muscle. Each low-carb phase sharpens fat-burning enzymes and increases mitochondrial efficiency. Each refeed recalibrates hormones, refills glycogen, and maintains leptin sensitivity. And each reignite phase stabilizes everything, letting your metabolism operate at full power instead of getting stuck in adaptation mode. One of the most powerful effects of this approach is hormonal balance. Long-term low-carb dieting lowers leptin, the hormone that signals energy sufficiency, and raises ghrelin, the hunger hormone. That combination makes you feel hungrier, tired, and less motivated. A single well-timed refeed reverses that pattern. Leptin rises, ghrelin drops, and your metabolism speeds up for the next few days. It's a metabolic restart button that keeps your fat loss sustainable instead of self-destructive. The 3-phase carb strategy also improves training output and recovery. When you strategically replenish glycogen, your workouts hit harder, your nervous system fires faster, and your muscles recover better. You perform like an athlete rather than a dieter. That performance signal, the physical stress of intense training paired with periodic refeeding, keeps muscle, preserving hormones like testosterone and growth hormone active, even during calorie deficits. The beauty of this system is that it's adaptive. You can shorten or lengthen phases based on your lifestyle. High stress weeks, extend the refeed phase to blunt cortisol. Training heavy, add an extra carb meal mid-cycle. Feeling inflamed or bloated, extend the reset by a day or two to bring insulin back down. You're no longer following a rigid diet, you're managing your metabolism like a professional. This is the difference between crash dieting and controlled metabolic cycling. Instead of starving your body into compliance, you're communicating with it. Each phase sends a specific hormonal message: burn fat, refuel, stabilize. Over weeks, your metabolism stops fighting back and starts cooperating, burning fat more efficiently, maintaining muscle, and keeping energy high. The 3-phase carb strategy doesn't just change your diet, it retrains your metabolism for lifelong leanness. Most people can lose weight for a few weeks. The real challenge is keeping it off, staying lean, strong, and energized without feeling trapped in constant restriction. The mistake most people make is trying to live in extremes, either strict fasting and zero carbs or full-on cheat weekends and chaos. Both lead to burnout. The truth is, sustainable fat loss comes from rhythm, not rigidity. The goal isn't to punish your body into submission, but to teach it balance. That's what smart carb habits are built for. They're not a diet, they're a way to live in sync with your metabolism, so you can control your energy, hunger, and composition year-round without obsession. The foundation of sustainability starts with *** consistency, not perfection. ***, you don't have to hit macros perfectly or fast at the exact minute every day. What matters is maintaining the structure: low insulin mornings, active day carb timing, and balanced evenings. Your body thrives on predictable signals. When you feed it protein early, move often, and introduce carbs in strategic windows, your hormones stay stable, insulin stays sensitive, cortisol stays in check, and your appetite regulates naturally. Over time, this creates a set point where your metabolism operates efficiently, keeping fat off without conscious effort. The biggest transformation happens when carbs become tools rather than triggers. You stop fearing them and start using them intentionally. Workout for recovery, in the evening for sleep and serotonin, in balance, or during high-demand days for focus and energy. When you pair those carbs with protein and micronutrients, you eliminate the crashes and cravings that destroy consistency. Meals stop feeling like emotional traps and start feeling like fuel. That alone changes everything, because once food becomes predictable, fat loss becomes automatic. Another key to maintaining results is *** metabolic adaptability ***. Your metabolism is not static, it responds to your environment. There will be days of high activity, stress, or low sleep, and your nutrition should shift accordingly. On lighter days, go lower on carbs and lean on protein and fats. On high-output days, bring in more carbs to keep hormones balanced and prevent cortisol from climbing too high. This ebb and flow is what keeps your metabolism responsive instead of slowing down. Adaptability beats rigidity every time. Smart carb habits also make emotional consistency possible. Most people don't realize how much blood sugar and brain chemistry are connected. When glucose is erratic, mood follows. You feel anxious, unfocused, or tired, then reach for quick fixes that spiral you out of control. But when your meals are balanced: protein stabilizing blood sugar, carbs used intentionally, fats supporting hormone health, your mental state stabilizes too. You think clearer, sleep deeper, and recover faster from stress. That stability makes this lifestyle sustainable because you're not fighting cravings or emotional swings anymore. You're in control. The long-term win is freedom being able to eat socially, travel, and live normally without losing your rhythm. If you understand the principles, you can make small adjustments on the fly, miss a meal. Go a little lower carb that day, big family dinner or weekend event. Treat it like a controlled refeed, eat protein first, carbs second, and keep fats light. You stay metabolically aligned without guilt or restriction. This balance between flexibility and discipline is what keeps your metabolism working for you, not against you. Movement ties everything together. Smart carb habits work best when paired with consistent physical activity, resistance training, walking, or any form of output that keeps muscle insensitive. Muscle is your metabolic engine. The more active and fed it is, the more flexible your metabolism becomes. When you move regularly, you can handle carbs efficiently, recover faster, and maintain leanness with less effort. It's not about burning calories, it's about maintaining metabolic communication between your muscles and hormones. Over time, the smart carb approach reshapes not just your physique, but your mindset. You stop seeing nutrition as punishment and start seeing it as performance. You understand when your body needs fuel and when it needs rest. You stop chasing quick fixes and start building long-term rhythm, the kind that keeps your energy high and your metabolism resilient even as you age. Sustainable success isn't built on extremes, it's built on understanding your body's signals and aligning your habits with them. Smart carb habits make that possible. They give you structure without suffocation, flexibility without loss of control. When you live by these principles, consistency, timing, balance, and adaptability, fat loss doesn't feel like effort anymore. It feels like flow. You eat, move, and live in a way that your body rewards with stable energy, lean strength, and lifelong metabolic freedom.